Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to this Stellaris tutorial. The purpose of this tutorial is to teach you how to play Stellaris as one of the nicer races. So many of these tutorial guides are how to dominate the Empire, how to destroy your enemies, how to annihilate everything around you. But some of us actually want to make friends, influence people, create a federation that's full of happy people, different races. And that's what we're going to do here today. So, let's create a race that actually wants to reach out and touch people. For the record, I have all the add-ons. Though, if you want to play with fewer, these philosophies still apply. I am going to play as the Consentacle Unity. Now, when I'm talking about wanting to reach out and touch somebody, I wasn't kidding. These guys are going to need to overcome some certain things, given the fact that they are, well, you'll see. So first you got to choose the appearance for your species. I am going to go with tentacle monsters, so I think this one right here tends to work. It's good, got a lot of little appendages on it to reach out and touch some folks along the way. If you want to get some of these other ones, like a more humanoid version, or maybe this version, you know, whatever floats your boat, but I'm going with this particular one right here. My species name is the Consentacle. The plural is Consentacle. We are many Consenticles. Actually, that makes no sense. Consenticles? Yeah, Consenticles. And we are known as Consentaclan. Consentaclan? Nah. We'll get rid of that. We'll go right back to there. The name references, I'm deleting the ship preferences because I don't like any of that stuff. However, we're going to go with a very molluscoid 4. This is going to give us the water motif that I'm looking for. The Consentacle Unity is an aquatic race. They live on ocean worlds, so they have fleet names like White Crush and Crashing Wave, that kind of thing. Now these are the traits for the Consentacles within the Consentacle Unity, and the traits I'm going to take are intelligent, because research is key. This will give me plus 10% to all types of research. Natural engineers, which gives me plus 15% to engineering research. So that means my engineering research will be plus 25%. This is fairly intense because I've discovered of the 3 types of research, engineering is the one that tends to bring me the most joy. It's full of the things, the ships that are going to propel me out there into the universe. Also, it's where a bunch of my mega engineering stuff comes from, and that becomes really useful late game. Rapid breeders, because the number one resource that you're going to have in this game is your people. And if you have lots of people, you can do lots of things. My favorite... now, over here we got to get some points back, so Unruly is my favorite flaw trait. It gets, it's only plus 10% to Empire Sprawl, and thanks to the bureaucratic centers, I now don't have to worry about that anymore. I could just build some more bureaucracy buildings, and my Empire Sprawl goes down. This is kind of my joke one. I am the Consentacle Unity, and this is a kind of a big, horrifying tentacle monster that really wants to get up in your personal space. And so we are going to start out a little bit repugnant. It gives me minus 20% to amenities. Also, I've discovered that repugnant is one of these mystery traits that different races will tend to treat you just a little bit more poorly just because. I don't know if this is something that's actually programmed into the game or not, but it is something I have seen in the past, usually around the Blorg. The Blorg might just be a special case, but I've noticed other races tend to hate them. Next, we're going to create a homeworld and type. We are going to be ocean world types, we're going to be aquatic. We are the Consentacle Unity, therefore the good touch is on the planet of Kink. And that is going to be the name of our homeworld as well. We're just going to make this a random system. This is gonna be Ocean Worlds. We're all very tentacly on Ocean Worlds. I'm not gonna get that into the different types of backgrounds. Obviously, since I have all the things, there are a bunch of different types of backgrounds I could do. I may do some videos on these at some point, but I'm just gonna go with Prosperous Unification for right now, because that is the most generic way of living. This right here is going to be how we're going to play. So, the ethics wheel. The ethics wheel right now is I'm going to go with egalitarian. Now, egalitarian gives you plus 25% faction influence gain. And the other one is special pop resource output. So, specialists are a little bit more productive. That's great. Faction influence gain. The factions are the little political parties within your empire, and having them with a little bit more influence might help. Now over here, we're going to go with the Fanatic Xenophile. If we wanted, we could go with a Spiritualist or a Mechanical, or a Materialist rather, but we are going to go with the Xenophile. Now, this gives me plus 20% trade, which is where all the monies is, and it gives me plus 2 envoys. Now, envoys is something that's going to be really important in the new game with the Federation's update. Basically what this does is these are diplomats that are going to go next door and make people like you or dislike you more. So, you always start with 1. Then, I'm a Fanatic Xenophile, which gives me a total of 3. Then, I can come over here. My my diplomatic corps, which I will never play without the diplomatic corps. This is the best thing there is. An additional plus 2 to my envoys. That gives me 5 envoys at the start of this game. That's incredible. This is also going to give me plus 10% to my diplomatic weight, so just in case my diplomats weren't diplomatic enough, I now have more diplomat in my diplomat. I'm also going to go with efficient bureaucracy, administrative capacity? Nah, that's totally not necessary anymore. I'll just use my bureaucratic buildings for that. Make your bureaucrats give you things. Stand by while I look at this list. Okay, I've decided to change that out to environmentalist. Now, environmentalist will reduce the amount of consumer goods used because we coexist in harmony with nature. This is really on par with my race anyway, and consumer goods is one of those things that until you have a consumer good explosion where you just have way too many of them to care anymore, throughout a good chunk of the game, consumer goods is something that always tends to knock me around a bit. Next, our type of authority. Well, at this point in the game, all of the dictatorship and imperial authorities have been moved away. I can be an oligarch, I can be a democracy, and I can be a corporate. Now, I am definitely going to do a corporate playthrough sometime in the future because I love Megacorp. I love playing the Megacorp. It's the greatest, most overpowered Uber way of playing ever. But right now, between these two, with the democracy, you are going to be, choosing a new ruler once every 10 years. With the oligarch, it's once every 20 years. They each have a minus 20% edict cost, so that's the same thing there. The big difference between these two, the democracy, your individual ruler is going to have a goal. If you achieve said goal, it gives you additional unity. However, in the new system, that only works really well towards the beginning of the game when you're actually producing and growing as an empire. Because some of the examples of the democratic thing will be this particular ruler promises, he makes a campaign promise. His campaign promise is he's going to build 3 new generators. So, because you're growing your empire, building 3 new generators isn't a problem. You do that thing, boom, additional unity. Later on in the game, when you've already built all the things, your campaign promises just float out in the ether, and every 10 years you get scolded by the game because you haven't met any of your goals. Well, the oligarchy, however, every single ruler... First of all, there are no campaign promises because oligarch governments are ruled by a small group of individuals that hold all political power. Therefore, we have no political campaign promises. But we also do have a special bonus that the ruler will get for that 20-year period that'll give some kind of buff to the empire. So this just makes the game a little bit... there's a little bit less record keeping here. Alright. What kind of advisor voice do we want? I'm gonna go with Xenophile.
The Blorg are very friendly creatures.
We are the Consentacle Unity. The adjective is Consentacle. Now, this is our flag because we have a lot of appendages and there's a water motif and we're green because of plants. We are going to have the molluscoid ships because we're all tentacly and they are the most tentacly of the group. Okay, the ruler. Well, the ruler's name, let's see here. The title is the Partner Pleaser. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's his name. His name is Partner Pleaser. The ruler's title is Master or Mistress because, you know, we are the Partner Pleasers. Consentacle Unity ahoy! I've already set all this stuff up, so let's get into the game. Save. Oh. Yes, there we go. There is our beautiful race. And now we are going to begin. Now, first of all, I'm going to just do a medium-sized empire, medium-sized galaxy, which gives us plenty to do without guaranteeing that this is going to take forever. We'll go with 4 spiral arms. I am going to do all the races, but I do not like AI advanced starts, so we're just going to turn that off. I'm not really afraid of fallen empires. In fact, they make the game more fun, so we'll have 3 of those. We'll have 2 marauder empires, because why not? The tech cost is just going to be standard. Now, habitable worlds. I am going to turn the habitable worlds down to minimum. The reason for this is paperwork. Later on in the game, you're going to have a ridiculous amount of worlds. You're going to have a ridiculous amount of stuff. The amount of paperwork you're going to have to do, the amount of micromanaging you're going to have to do is going to be totally insane. So, fewer habitable worlds. Primitives, normal. Crisis strength, normal. We're going to go with a mid-game crisis at the 100-year mark and an end-game crisis at the 200-year mark. And let's see here, we're going to go with Admiral. We're not going to do Grand Admiral yet. I'm not yet brave enough for that. Scaling difficulty on, so that we know they will the other races will actually begin at the same level as us. Hyperlink density. Oh, wormholes. Loves me some wormholes. It makes everything more interesting. Guaranteed habitable worlds 2. Also, I'm going to turn off Iron Mode in case I screw something up so I don't have to start this over from scratch. Xenocompatibility. Oh. Enable or disable Xenocompatibility. Ascension perk. Nope, we're going to turn that off. Xenocompatibility is one of these things, once again, that makes it so that later on you get all this crossbreeding going on and everything becomes more complicated. One of the things I discovered in this game is that if you want to have a race have any type of population control whatsoever, you have to reduce the amount of races in your empire, and every single crossbreed counts as its own little sub-race, and it makes your racial spreadsheet look like just a huge long disaster. And after a while, there's just too much there to mess with. So, caravanners. I would love it if the caravanners showed up. They're always fun. Alright, let's get going on this.